All right. So for tonight's class, I've been doing this in some way in every class I've taught this week, whether it's been a meditation or yoga, but I feel like we just need to ground. I feel like we need to really like get onto the earth. Yoga teaches one of the many things yoga teaches is stilling the restless fluctuations of the mind. And there's a lot of triggers in the world right now. Not that that's new, but we're aware of a lot of them right now, kind of at the same time. And the way that we can enter into the conversations that we want and need to have, and the way that we can be who we want to be in these situations, is to ground into that higher perspective, broad knowing, wholly compassionate parts or aspects of ourselves. So, from a physical standpoint, we're going to work with the hips and maybe a little bit of heart stuff as well. We'll see what happens. But from a meditation perspective, it's really just noticing what comes up in us and then being with that in a compassionate, clear, calm way. Sound good? All right, so let's go ahead and sit comfortably, however that looks for you. I'm sitting on a couple of blankets. You could be on a block, you can be on the floor, you can be in a chair if you really want to. But sit tall and allow your shoulders to relax down your back. And as your eyes close, just become aware of your body. And then become aware of your relationship to gravity. There's a force that is pervasive on Earth that is pulling you toward the core of the Earth. Be with that sensation, the idea that you're being pulled toward the core of the Earth. And because we're mobile creatures, because we're moving around and interacting with the world, we tend to fight this pull of gravity quite often. And I'm wondering if you can surrender to it in this moment. Can you relax? Can you deepen? Can you feel yourself root? The shoulders dropping away from your ears, your jaw relaxing, and even the muscles that are usually tensing to flee or to fight, those muscles relax as well. So being with gravity, the abdomen relaxes, the muscles of your pelvis, and notice if there's any regions of your body that are resisting that surrender, that are resisting relaxing. Doesn't mean it's a bad part. Doesn't mean that we're going to go in and shame it. We just want to know. And a way to help that part, that region of your body, is just to breathe with it. So maybe it's around your shoulders or behind the heart or down in the pelvis. Just take a deep breath and imagine that that breath is expanding into or around that point on your body. And that part or that region of the body may soften, it may not, but even turning toward it is better than negating it from your system. It too can have some attention in this process. And if there's another region of your body that is having a hard time relaxing, acknowledge it with the breath. We'll just spend a few more moments in this practice of just being with what's there in a kind and compassionate way. Good. So we'll allow this theme of meeting ourselves with kindness and compassion continue through our practice. And now we'll chant the sound Om 3 times together. You can chant with me or you can just listen. Now go ahead and take a deep breath in. We'll begin. Just bring your palms to your heart and bow the chin. And honor yourself as you are in this moment, this body, breath, energy, and mind. And acknowledging the one who is doing the honoring. And it's from this place within you that we'll practice tonight. Go ahead and rub the palms together, creating heat. And take your heated palms over your eyes. Brushing back over the top of your head, down your neck, bring yourself back to the space, to your space. And let's begin tonight on our backs. So move any props you have off to the side and we'll come to lay down, please. All right. If you're still making your way there, continue to move at your own pace, but once you are, just hug your knees into your chest. This is kind of like giving yourself a hug. You might want to rock gently from side to side. You may want to pull the knees into the chest deeper if that feels okay for your body at this point in the practice. And allow this posture, this holding of the knees, this hugging of the body to have some compassion laced within it. This is you preparing to take care of your physical system, your energetic system, which will then help the mental, emotional, and even spiritual systems. Good. So go ahead and bring the hips into stillness and extend your left leg down to the floor and flex the left foot. And just hold the right knee into your chest with both hands, feeling the gentle stretch in your hip. And then please hold behind your right thigh with both hands. And with your inhale, straighten the right leg toward the ceiling, pull the toes back, and then exhale, bend your right knee. Inhale, extend the leg toward the ceiling, pull the toes back again. Then exhale, bend the knee back into your chest. Let's continue. Inhale, extending. Exhale, bending. On your own, creating length in the back of the leg as you inhale, the hamstring lengthening. And exhale, pulling the knee back in. Good. One more time. Extend. And leave the leg extended. Pull the toes back. And keep holding on behind the thigh. Take a deep breath in. With your exhale, curl your chin in toward your throat. Bring your forehead up toward the knee. Shoulders lift. And stay up for the inhale. And then exhale, relax your shoulders and head back down. And stay down for the inhale. 2 more times. Exhale, chin to throat. Forehead lifts toward the knee. Stay up for the inhale. And then exhale, relax the head and shoulders back down. Last one, we're going to hold. Curl the chin in toward the throat. Bring your body up. And stay. Now, even though you're holding onto the leg here, relax that grip a little bit so that your core is engaged to keep your shoulders and head lifting. For those of you who have more access in your hamstrings, you might hold higher up towards your ankle with the hands. But if that just causes pain, bring it back down. Breathe. Deep breath in here. And then exhale, release the head and shoulders. And then carefully relax your right leg down to the floor. And then just notice the difference between the two sides, having done that exercise just on the right side. And then we'll balance that out. Go ahead and just bring the left knee into your chest, holding it here for a breath or two. Feeling that gentle stretch in the hip. Good. And then again, hold behind the left knee with both hands. Inhale, extend the leg toward the ceiling, reaching through the heel, pulling the toes back. Then exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, extend. And exhale, bend. And continue on your breath. Inhale, reaching through the heel. Exhale, bringing it back in. Good. One more time. And again, we'll hold, extending the leg toward the ceiling. Pull the toes back so you're reaching through the heel, the back of the leg lengthening. And then we'll do a little bit of that core work on this side. So keep holding behind the leg. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, curl the chin in toward the throat. Lift the shoulders. Stay up for the inhale. And then exhale, relax the head and shoulders back down. Stay down for the inhale. Exhale, curl the chin in. Lift the shoulders, forehead toward the knee. Stay up for the inhale. And then exhale, relax the shoulders and head back down. We'll do one more time holding. Chin to throat, forehead lifts. And stay. And breathe. Again, if you have more access to your hamstrings, the back of the leg, you might hold higher toward the ankle. You do not have to, though. It's okay to hold down by the thigh. Deep breath in. Exhale, release the head and shoulders. Then relax the leg down. Feel sensation. It's happening in the body. And then please bring the feet flat to the floor, heels underneath your knees, about hip distance apart. Heels stacking underneath your knees. Good. We're going to do some subtle pelvic floor work, and then we're going to add bridge pose to it here in just a moment. So become aware of the muscles and organs of your pelvis, particularly toward the base of the body, your pelvic floor. Take a deep breath in. With your exhale, squeeze all the muscles of your pelvis in and up. Feel the tailbone tuck under slightly, and feel your pelvis tilt toward your heart. It's like you're about to pick up the hips, but the hips stay on the ground. And then inhale, relax all of that. Tailbone relaxes to the floor, and all the muscles of the pelvis relax. So let's do that again. Exhale, squeeze all the muscles of your pelvic floor up and in. Tuck the tail under slightly as if you're going to lift the hips. And then inhale, relax all that. We're going to do a few more of these. Exhale, squeeze the muscles of the pelvic floor, tilt the pelvis. Then inhale, relax. Let's do two more. Squeeze the pelvic floor, tilt the pelvis. Then inhale, relax. Squeeze the pelvic floor, tilt the pelvis, exhale. Inhale, relax that contraction. So we're going to do that again, but we're going to add bridge pose. So with your exhale, squeeze up the pelvic floor, tilt the tailbone, then pick up the hips, reaching your pelvis toward the ceiling. Keep squeezing the muscles of your pelvis. As you exhale, go ahead and relax the hips down, and then relax the pelvic floor. Good. Go ahead and squeeze everything in and up, and then inhale, pick up the hips. Exhale, release the hips down, and relax the pelvis. Again, squeeze up those muscles, then lift into bridge, then relax out of bridge, and then relax the muscles of the pelvis. We're going to do a few more. Squeezing up, inhale. Relaxing down. Squeezing up. And relaxing down. We're going to hold this next round. So squeeze up the muscles of the pelvic floor. Keep that engaged as you lift the hips toward the sky and stay in bridge pose. Again, squeezing up the muscles of the pelvic floor. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Notice if your jaw wants to clench and relax the jaw. Relax your throat. And squeeze up a little higher. Inhale. And then relax the hips down. And then relax the contraction at the pelvic floor. Good. You can extend the legs out a little bit if you need to. Just stretch them out. Sometimes they get crampy, especially early on in the practice. Good. All right. So bringing the feet flat to the floor, just like we had them, go ahead and cross your right ankle, center of your left thigh. Right ankle, center of the left thigh. And your right foot is going to be flexed, pulling the toes back toward the knee. This will help protect your ankle and your knee joint as we move through this exercise. So, keeping the right foot flexed, press the left foot into the floor and lift your hips, coming into a modification of bridge pose. And then exhale, release your hips back down. Good, we're going to keep doing that. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, releasing down. And as you're moving in and out of this pose, you might feel some sensation or protesting in your right hip joint. Just notice that. We're going to give that some love and compassion here in just a few minutes, or moments, I should say. And as you come into the pose this next time, inhale, lift the hips. Go ahead and stay. Good. Keep the right foot flexed. And you're squeezing up through the left side of your body, really activating strongly in the lower back and the glutes. See if you can relax the right hip now. It doesn't have to work as hard. And you can even imagine that light or breath is going to that hip joint. You can even do my little internal dialogue trick where I actually just talk to it. I'm like, hey, right hip joint, you're kind of tense. Can you relax a little bit? Can you soften back? Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But again, we're turning toward the sensation and we're providing it some relief through awareness. Press up a little higher, inhale. And then exhale, release the hips on down. Good. Now, if you can, keep the leg crossed where it's at. If you need to stretch it out for a moment and then come back, please do so. Keeping the right ankle center of the left thigh, go ahead and bring the left knee in toward your chest. And you can reach between the hands with your right hand, and then both hands hold behind the thigh. Good. Now, a first instinct here might be to yank the left knee in toward your chest. Don't do that. Bring the knee into the point where you start to feel tension, which, depending on your access to your hips, might be a big movement, it might be a small movement. But just bring it to the point of tension and let's breathe. And while there might be a lot of sensation here, I'm guessing that there's quite a bit in the right hip joint. Notice if that's true for you. And wherever you're feeling that more intense sensation, that discomfort maybe, breathe to that point. Again, you can just imagine that breath is expanding to it. You can imagine that the breath is like light going to that point or those points, dissolving tension. And again, if you want to have a conversation with it, you can. It's like, hey, right hip joint, you're a little tight right now. You can relax if you want to. You can soften if you want to. The hips do not like to be rushed too, just a little trick for you. So we'll spend a few more breaths here. Good. Now don't drop the foot. Just carefully release the left foot back down to the floor and then uncross the right leg. And just feel the difference between the two sides. You've done a lot of deep work in the right hip joint, not so much in the left side just yet. It's kind of like a before and after shot. And my little joke is that whether you like that or not, it probably feels important to do the other side because you don't want to walk out with like one hip looser than the other. Like bad things can happen. So we're going to balance that out. So with your right foot flat on the floor, heel underneath the knee, go ahead and cross your left ankle, center of the right thigh, and flex the left foot. Again, flexing the foot will protect the ankle and the knee joint, which are important if you like to walk and stuff. So jokes. We're going to do this bridge pose a little bit. So pressing the right foot into the floor, go ahead and lift the hips into the air. And then exhale, release the hips back down. Inhale, lift the hips. And exhale, release them. We're going to do a few more times. Now, as we're working with the second side, something you might notice is that this side is either easier or harder than the other side. We hold tension differently on the different sides of our bodies. There's asymmetries. We tend to rely on one side more than the other. So this side might be tighter, it might be more open. Just notice that. Good. With your next inhale, we'll come into the posture and we will hold, pressing the hips toward the ceiling. And again, you're activating powerfully through the right side. The right glute is engaged, the right lower back, pressing up. Your left side, especially the left hip, can relax a little bit here. If it's having a hard time doing that, again, you can do this internal process of sending light or softness or breath or even just awareness to that region of the body and giving it permission to relax. Keep pressing up if you can. Inhale to your highest point, and exhale, release the hips on down. Good. So again, keep the ankle crossed at the center of the right thigh. And when you're ready, bring the right knee in toward your chest. The left hand can reach between the legs, and you can hold behind the right leg with both hands. Good. Drawing the knee into the chest, just reaching that point of tension or sensation. You don't have to push it beyond that. Again, the hips do not like to be rushed. And notice where you feel sensation. Don't turn away from it. Bring your awareness to those spaces with, again, breath, light, compassionate awareness, permission to relax. Permission to be soft. Notice if you're clenching your jaw and just relax that too. Let's take one more deep breath here. And carefully release the right foot to the floor and uncross the legs. Good. So we'll do one more exercise here, at least one more exercise here. I might change my mind. So go ahead and take your feet mat width apart and walk your feet a little bit further away from your hips than you had for bridge pose. So if your feet were up here for bridge, you're just gonna walk them about 6 inches forward. Your arms relax out to the side. And with your inhale, allow your knees to fall to the right. With your exhale, ground your lower back to the floor and bring your knees back to center. And then inhale, take the knees to the left. And then exhale back to center. Inhale to the right. Exhale back to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale back to center. Please continue inhaling to a side, exhaling through center, inhaling through a side, exhaling to center. If you'd like to get the neck involved, you can turn the chin away from the knees. They fall to the left, your chin goes to the right. Just getting the neck involved here to warm up those muscles or any tension you might find in the neck. Inhaling to a side, exhaling to center. In addition to creating some mobility in the hip joints here, this exercise is helping to stretch the iliopsoas muscle, which is this big wraparound muscle that goes from your mid to lower back around the side of the body and down into your groin. Often when you're feeling pain or tension in the hips or low back, it's because this muscle is kind of tight. So we're giving some love and awareness to those muscles. There's one on each side. Inhaling to a side, exhaling to center. Go for just a little bit longer. Good. One more time on each side. And then the next time your knees come back to center, go ahead and hug them into your chest again. And from here, we're going to come into butterfly pose. So bring the soles of the feet together, and you're going to hold on to the ankles or shins. Some of you may have access to hold on to the pinky edge of the feet. Just make a connection so that you can hold the feet together. And then allow the knees to go wide of your arms. We'll just take a few deep breaths here. Good. One more breath. And then carefully release the feet to the floor. And then go ahead and roll to your right side. And we'll come up to hands and knees, table pose. And we're finally coming up. We've been on our backs for a while. Remember to hydrate. If you have water nearby, just take a swig. All right, so when you're ready, bring the hands underneath your shoulders, knees beneath the hips or slightly further back. Inhale, look forward with your heart, tailbone lifts. Then exhale, Balasana, child's pose, seat to the heels, forehead to the floor. Then inhale, come up to hands and knees, curl the toes under, and then let's lift into downward facing dog. So it's our first down dog of the night, so go ahead and walk the dog out a bit, pressing a heel to the floor and bending the opposite knee. Breathing length into the legs. Of course, the spine is lengthening as well as the hip bones reach toward the sky behind you. Deep breaths. As you're exploring your body in down dog, you might notice new areas that you weren't aware of before that have tension. And this also might be relieving to some regions of the body. Bringing the feet into stillness. Inhale, let's come into plank pose, straight line push-up. And with your exhale, go ahead and plank yourself down to the earth. Good, release the feet. We'll play with half locust a little bit. So hands on the floor underneath your shoulders. Inhale, roll the shoulders down the back, lift the head, chest, and the legs. Exhale, float back down. Inhale, again, lift the head, chest, and legs. Locust. Exhale, floating back down. Inhale, rise. Locust pose. Exhale, release. Let's do two more for now. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, and we're going to hold. Go ahead and lift the head, chest, and the legs. Staying lifted, keep breathing. One more breath. Raising up to your highest point, inhale. Don't collapse. Slowly release yourself down with an exhalation. Good. Curling the toes under. Go ahead and lift your knees away from the floor. And then press the floor forward as you come up to plank pose. And then back again to downward facing dog. All right. So in downward facing dog, go ahead and lift your right leg high into the air behind you. And as you lift the right leg high, allow your left heel to sink toward the earth, spreading the feet in opposite directions. Good. And from here, bend the right knee, the leg in the air, and then take the heel back behind you, stacking your right hip on top of your left, opening your pelvis toward the sidewall. I'm assuming there's a sidewall in the room you're in, or the space you're in. Keep lifting that right knee as high as you can. Good. And then carefully bring that right foot all the way back down. Inhale to plank pose. Let's stay in plank for 3 breaths. This is often where I find that I breathe slower than others. You're like, it's been 3 breaths. Downward facing dog, please, pressing back. And let's do that exercise on the other side. Lift the left leg high and allow your right heel to sink toward the earth. Again, spreading the feet in opposite directions. And then bend the left knee, the leg in the air, and take the heel back behind you, stacking the left hip on top of the right, and see how high you can lift the left knee. It's creating length along the left side of the body. We're breathing. Good. Carefully bring that left foot all the way back down. Again, coming into plank pose. And this time, just plank yourself straight back down to the earth. Good. Pelvis grounding, locust pose rise, head, chest, and legs. And then exhale, release. Curl the toes under and lift the knees. Push up and back to downward facing dog. Just taking an adjusting breath here. All right, go ahead and lift the right leg high into the air behind you. With your exhale, swing or carry step the right foot between the hands. Help it through. Release your back knee to the floor. Inhale, crescent lunge. Lift the arms up, heart turning toward the sky. With your exhale, bring your hands back down to the floor and straighten your right leg. Pull the toes toward you. Good. Inhale, rock forward. Let's lift the arms again. And then exhale, bring your hands back down to the floor. Straighten the right leg. Pull the toes toward you. One more time. Inhale, rock forward. Lift the arms. And then exhale, again, hands to the floor. Straighten the leg. Good. Inhale, please rock forward. Curl the back toes under and step back to downward facing dog. Take an adjusting breath. And then we'll do the other side. Lift the left leg high into the air behind you. And step it through. Help it along. Back knee to the floor. Inhale, crescent lunge, lift the arms. Exhale, hands to the floor, straighten the front leg, pull the toes toward you. Inhale, rock forward, lifting up, inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor, straighten the leg. One more time. Inhale, rock forward and lift. Exhale, hamstring stretch. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot through. Back knee on the ground, crescent lunge, inhale. Exhale, hamstring stretch, hands to the floor, straighten the leg. This time we'll move straight back into down dog, so rock forward, inhale. Exhale, step back. Good, left leg lifts. And step it through. Knee on the ground, inhale, come up. Exhale, hamstring stretch. Inhale, rock forward, exhale, step back. Downward facing dog. We're gonna do it one more time on each side. Right leg and step. Inhale up. Exhale, hamstring stretch. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. And step. Knee on the ground, crescent lunge. Exhale, hamstring stretch. And then inhale, rock forward. This time, step the back foot forward, coming into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Good. Soften your knees here. Relax the head and shoulders, the neck. And find your breath. Aware of the inhale, aware of your exhale. And where in your body do you need more breath? Is there some tension somewhere that's calling to you right now? Some discomfort. See if you can bring the breath there. And again, I physically understand that you can't bring the breath to your thighs, but just imagine breath or light touching those points and helping to soften them. It's more of an energetic suggestion. Good. With your next inhale, press palms to shins, come halfway up, heart parallel to the floor. And then exhale, fold down. Then inhale, sweep the arms out to the side with a flat back, come all the way up to standing. And palms to your heart. So again, feel, turn inward. What's there? Sensation, breath, energy, mind. All right, then bringing your awareness back. I don't know about you, but I'm getting sweaty. Let's keep a towel nearby. All right, so we're gonna balance a little bit because it's gonna turn into hip exercise in just a moment, but first we wanna find our ground. So go ahead and stand with your feet stacking underneath your hips. Nice stable stance. There can be a little bit of a softness to the knees, shoulders are relaxed. And if you'd like to, if it's comfortable for you, close the eyes. And just like our centering practice, become aware of your body's relationship to gravity. The connection your feet make to the floor, to the ground. And where with our centering practice, our idea with gravity was to surrender to it, to allow it to pull us toward the earth, the core. And while that's still true here, think about how gravity is supporting you. You're not going to fly off into the ethers once you're connected to the ground. And if anything, you can imagine that you're rooting, that there's roots growing from your feet down into the earth to help keep you in place. All right, so then allow your eyes to open and focus to a single non-moving point in front of you. So me on camera probably isn't the best one unless you need to reference what we're doing. And then shift the weight of your body down into your left leg. Good. Feel the pelvis pull upward, heart lifts, and you might feel a lightness in the right foot that allows it just the right knee just to lift up toward your chest. And it might come up this high. It might just be a couple of inches off the ground. Breathe. If your eyes are darting around, you're probably gonna fall. And if you do fall, it's okay. Take your time coming back into the practice. Good. Let's take the right foot back down to the floor, shift to center, feel that right foot ground, move the weight of the body into that foot, and then take your time as the left leg lifts. And again, that might be high, that might be lower, as far as you can. And again, this is a practice. If you start to notice critical thoughts coming in, like, I'm a bad yogi, I don't know how to balance, I can't do this, ask those thoughts just to step back for now. We're just experimenting, we're just practicing. Deep breath in and exhale, release. Let's do that one more time on each side, and then we'll add the hip thing that I'll show you in just a moment. So shifting down into your left leg, allow the right knee to rise. Just balance, just breathe. The left foot rooting, stable, supported, grounded. And then place the right foot down, come back to center. We'll shift over into the left leg and allow the left knee, instead of grounding into the right leg, allow the left knee to lift. Good. And then go ahead and release that left leg down. And you can shake it out a bit if you need to. All right. I will demonstrate this next exercise. And for this next exercise, you may need a yoga block if you have one. If you don't have one, find something in your space that you could use as one. For example, my water bottle is about the size of my yoga block. I'm not sure if that's even on camera. They're about the same size. So you can find something that you can reach down and put your hand on, and you'll see what we're going to use it for, and you can discern what might work for it then. Okay. So I'm just going to bring this block in front of me. I may or may not use it, and I'll show you once we get there. Okay. I'm going to shift down into the first side, and I'm going to lift the knee up. I'll spend a couple of breaths here, and I'm moving through this fast. You'll go through it slowly. Then once I'm here, I'm going to reach down and grab the heel and draw the heel upward. My right foot is flexed, again, protecting the knee and the ankle joint. And we'll breathe. You might feel unsteady. If you're close to a wall, you can hold on to a wall if you have one nearby. And then once I've spent a few breaths there, I'll pull the heel in toward my groin and allow the knee to come down. I can keep holding onto the leg if I need to. Sometimes I soften the standing leg a little bit and it creates a shelf for this foot to rest on. So I might be able to bring both hands to heart. I might hold on to it. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. After we've stayed here for a couple of breaths, we'll hinge at the hips and we'll reach for the ground. So if the ground is far away, this is where you'll need a block on one of its heights. Some of you might just be able to touch the ground and stay in the forward fold. And we'll stay there for a little bit, okay? So let's go ahead and move our way there. If you think you'll need a block or something, have a block or something nearby. So let's do the first side, shifting into that left leg. Right knee lifts. Find your stability. Again, if you focus your eyes to a single non-moving point, it might be easier. And then cut the heel inward. Reach down and grab a hold of it and pull it upward toward your chest. That might be asking a lot. It's fine. If you're close to a wall, you can put your hand on it. If you need to move to a wall, you can here. And then draw the heel up and toward your groin. Anywhere above the knee will work, okay? And allow the right knee to drop downward. Now at this point, I'm softening my standing leg, bending the knee a little bit to create a shelf for my foot to rest on. And you can keep holding onto it here, or you can bring palms to heart, or even one palm to heart. Breathe. And if you'd like to, you can hinge at the hips and bring the hands down toward the floor or onto a prop. Keep breathing. Aware of the inhale, aware of the exhale, especially as we're in this forward fold. Notice sensation and bring compassionate awareness to those sensations. Especially if your normal inclination would be to judge that part of you, that tight hip, that bad knee. Bring compassion to those. Breath light, permission. A couple more breaths. Now to come out of this pose, just carefully help the right foot down to the ground. You'll end up in a standing forward fold. And after a breath or two there, bring yourself back up to a standing posture. And pay attention inward. With that one, at least for me, can't say it was your experience. For me, when I come up from that pose, there's like this wave of just awareness and calm that comes over me. So that you might get some of that. You might just be really aware of something else, but just naming what my experience is. So the joke is whether you like that or not on the first side, it's important to do the other. So let's give that a shot. All right. So shifting the weight of your body into your right foot. Focus the eyes to a single non-moving point. And when you're ready, lift the left knee up. Starting at the beginning. And after a breath or two there, cut the left heel inward and go ahead and reach down and grab hold of the ankle or heel and draw it upward. Taking deep breaths. Just because we know where we're going doesn't mean we have to get there quickly. And then draw the heel in toward the groin and allow the left knee to drop downward. You can soften the standing leg again, creating a little bit of a shelf. Maybe both hands come to heart. Maybe one hand, maybe no hands. And if you feel ready, when you feel ready, hinge at the hips and reach for the ground or a prop if the ground is far away. Deep breaths. Again, sending compassionate awareness to wherever you're feeling this. Staying for just a few more breaths. Do your best. And when you feel complete in this pose, go ahead and help the left foot down to the ground, coming into the standing forward fold. And then take your time coming up to standing. Aware of sensation as the effects of the pose are initially felt. Okay. Taking a deeper, fuller breath, bring your awareness back again, and hydrate if you haven't done so in a minute. Or if you need it. If you don't need it, it's okay. All right, so we have been working toward this next posture all night, so for about the last hour or so, and it's pigeon pose. People usually have a very complicated relationship with pigeon pose because it feels good, but it's also not the most comfortable thing to be in. At least that's my experience, and I've heard that from others. So we'll come into it from a standing forward fold. So if you step to the top of your mat and just come into the forward fold. And then from here, step your left foot way back and release the left knee down to the floor. Now your right foot in front of you is on the right side of your mat. So what you're going to do is just shimmy the right foot over to the left side of your mat. And then release the shin bone down parallel to the front of your mat. Okay, this is where we're going to start. We might not stay here, but it's where we're going to start. Curl the back toes under. This will help to keep the hips squared so that you don't fall out of the pose, okay? Now, once you're here, a couple of things can happen. First, you can lift the back knee and take it back further if you have access. The second is you can draw the right heel back toward your body a few inches if you'd like. Just don't bring it all the way back in toward the groin, because if you do, then you just come out of the pose and there's no stretch there. Okay. All right. Let's start breathing. As you're here, think about drawing the hips not just downward toward the floor, but backwards behind you as well. Sometimes when we're in this posture, we either fold forward too quickly and it actually pulls us out of the pose. So keep this trajectory of the hips working back and down. Now, especially in this pose, for many of us, there is sensation, but you get to choose how you meet that sensation. Is it with dread, trepidation, or can you meet it with loving kindness? It's like, oh, there's tension in that hip. Breathe into that. Breathe into that sensation. Again, you can imagine that the breath, like light, is going to those points and dissolving them. Or you can just welcome the sensation to be there. You know, it's okay to sit with discomfort. And can you be okay with sitting in discomfort? I'm going to stay with this pose a little bit longer. I'm going to give you some options. Stay here if you'd like to. If you can keep the trajectory of the hips working down and backwards, you can come down onto your forearms. But again, the hips are still working back behind you. If you get down onto your forearms and realize that was too far too soon, and get back up onto your hands. It's okay to go backwards. And again, breathe into sensation. Turning toward it. Lovingly, compassionately. And if you're having trouble with the kindness and compassionate talk, at least try to meet it with curiosity. For example, I notice when I'm practicing this that the tension in my hip unwinds in waves. There's moments of more sensation followed by moments of less sensation. And the cycle kind of continues as that tension unwinds and releases. You take a deeper breath. Good. So if you're down on your forearms, carefully walk back up onto your hands. All right, we're going to come out of this now. When you're ready, go ahead and pop the back knee forward. Just slide your right leg back. And then it's player's choice for any adjusting here. So downward facing dog works for some folks. Child's pose works for some folks. If you want to lift a leg in the air if you're in down dog. Or maybe it doesn't even look like yoga, or maybe it's a different pose I didn't mention. And trust that after we're done with both sides, we will spend some time counterposing, but just give yourself an adjustment. And then when you're ready, from hands and knees, step your left foot forward. Good. All right, so your left foot is on the left side of your mat. Go ahead and shimmy it over to the right side. And then release the shin down, again, parallel to the front of your mat, or as much as you can. Curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, and take it back a couple more inches. Now at this point, if you need to draw the right or the left heel, back toward your body slightly, go ahead and do so. Again, just don't bring it all the way into the body. And let's take a few deep breaths here. Arms straight, shoulders down the back, heart lifting. Again, the general trajectory of the hips is not just downward, but down and back. And breathe. Meeting that sensation with kindness, compassion, or at least curiosity. It's a different side. It's a different experience. Maybe this is your more open hip. Maybe it's your more not open hip. Either way, the same level of awareness, drawing breath and light to those points that are tight. Feeling that tension in the hips unwind and dissolve and soften. Allowing yourself to really sit with the discomfort and not from a gripping place of wishing it was gone, but meeting it with compassion. It's like, it's okay that this tension in the hip is here. This tension in the hip is actually why we're here. It's why we're here doing this work. Is to give it awareness, is to give it some love, some attention, and maybe through that, some relief or healing. Again, if you can keep the hips moving down and back, maybe the forearms are for you. If you get down and realize that was not the case, it's okay to walk back up onto your hands. Excuse me. Staying for just a little bit longer. Keep meeting that sensation with the same level of compassionate, kind awareness. All right. If you're down on your forearms, take your time. Carefully come back up onto your hands. And then go ahead and pop the back knee forward slightly and take the forward leg back. And again, adjust as your body is asking. Maybe it's a down dog. Maybe it's a child's pose or something else. Tending to the field, tending to sensation. Good. Take your time getting there, but when you're ready, please come down onto your abdomen. Your hands stacking underneath your shoulders, elbows bent. We're going to come into locust pose one more time. So go ahead and press the pelvis down into the floor, and then inhale, feel the head, chest, and legs float toward the ceiling. And breathe. Deep breath in. And then exhale softly, float down. And from here, roll over onto your back. We had a couple more postures to do, but let's come onto our backs. Just roll on over. Good. So we're gonna do that psoas twist that we did at toward the beginning of class. So just to get us in the right position, bring your feet to stack underneath your knees, and then walk the feet away from your body about 6 inches, and then take them as wide apart as your yoga mat. Good. Arms resting out to the side. With an inhale, take the knees to the right. With the exhale, ground your lower back to the floor and come back to center. And then inhale, take the knees to the left. Exhale back to center. Let's go for a few rounds. Inhaling to a side, exhale to center. If you want to get the neck involved again, you can just allow the chin to drop away from the knees. You also don't have to. Good. Now, as you take the knees to the right this time, go ahead and relax them there. Again, the chin can turn to the left if that suits you. And you can stay right here if you're comfortable here. If you want to try binding the pose, you can just place the right heel or ankle on top of the left thigh or knee. So the bottom heel rests on top of the top knee. And you're not just pushing the knee downward, you're drawing the leg forward and then down. So you feel some length along the left hip, into the left side body, the psoas. Deep breaths here. Good. So if you have the pose bound, go ahead and release the right heel down. Bring the knees through center. And then go ahead and take the knees to the other side. And again, there's the same option to bind here. In that case, you take the left ankle on top of the right thigh. And again, drawing that knee down and forward. And feeling some good length along the right side of your body. And just breathe, whatever you feel. Breathe into it. Compassionate, kind awareness. Just another breath or two. And if you're bound, go ahead and release it. And we'll all bring the knees back to center and hug them in one more time. It might feel okay to rock gently on the spine here from side to side. And it might feel good just to hold the knees into your chest. Answer that question with your body. And then when you feel complete in this forward fold, please extend your legs down to the floor, making yourself ready for Shavasana, corpse pose. And feel free to bring any support where you need it. You can use a blanket as a pillow or cover up with a blanket. You can adjust the lighting in your space. Make yourself comfortable. And as you do settle in, allow the toes to fall away from one another so the hips can really spread open. Your arms resting out to the side, palms facing up. Feel a softness in your jaw and some gentle space behind your eyes. And again, bring your awareness to your body's relationship with gravity. And since there's no more need in this moment to move against that force, surrender to it. Feel the body become heavy. Sinking into that embrace that you are so supported right now. Melting, softening, deepening into the earth. And as you do so, again, notice, is there any part of your body that is resisting this pull? Any part of you that's not wanting to relax or can't relax? And turn toward it in your mind and see if you can bring some breath, some loving awareness to it. And just be with it. Just keep breathing with it. With no agenda that it has to soften, but letting it know that you care, that it can't relax or doesn't want to. And if that region does end up softening, if it does, maybe there's another region of your body that's having a hard time relaxing. And repeat the practice. Meet that sensation with loving kindness and a soft breath. peace, peace, peace. Please begin to take a deeper, fuller breath. And make some gentle movements in your hands and feet, in your arms and legs. And when you're ready, please roll gently to your right side. And then making your way up to a seat when you feel complete here. Take your time. If you're still making your way to a seat, continue to move at your own pace. Once you're there, once you're here, sit tall and relax your shoulders. And feel that force of gravity drawing you toward it, holding you, supporting you, and in this moment, keeping you. As you move out into your worlds, your weeks, your days, your months, there's a lot out there that can unground us. It can trigger us and sweep us into reactive mindsets. And no shame for any of that occurring. But when we desire to be grounded, we feel the need to reconnect to something greater than ourselves. This gravity is here. And it's not just this external force pulling you toward the core of the earth. There's an inner gravity, an inner still point that is always there with you, supporting you, keeping you, holding you. And often, to get back to it or to connect to it, all you have to do is to remember that it is there. That there's this capacity within you. Coming back to it each and every time you waver. So taking a deeper, fuller breath, please. Please bring your palms to your heart and lower your chin. And honor that still point within you. So much gratitude for that always being there. And for the capacities within you that keep you connected to it or return you to it each and every time. And may all of your effort here tonight and this practice keep you in that endeavor. So until we meet again, namaste. Namaste.